Gardening in the box.
Oh my god, I can't believe I have that as my thumbnail.
For some reason, the story at 6:44.
Then 6:49, the latest movie releases.
I got Aqua Hillary. I have pretty much the Aqua Hillary as my thumbnail.
Connected to Portland's afternoon news on FM News 101
There we go. I actually don't need to submit yet.
Prepares to vote on Judge Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination. The Democrats drop what they hope will stop the judge's confirmation.
Yeah, I'm sure that confirmation is totally gonna not happen. I'm just gonna make a $1 bet and say he's gonna get appointed. I'm not gonna say how or whatever. I'm just like he's just gonna get appointed. I just feel like that's what's gonna happen. Wow, I got notified. Well, thank you, YouTube, for actually being YouTube and notifying people. Thanks. Thank you, YouTube. Keep it up. Proud of you. This one time. I also got a new torch, so I don't have to do this whole, like, I didn't do that. Now it just lights up on its own. It's nice. It's nice. Feels good, actually. I don't have to be ghetto with it. It's nice and shiny, too. I mean, look at that shine. It's clear and everything. It's not like this fuzzy thing. It's just like this, it's Gucci. But stepping up in the world. Yep. I mean, you gotta do that at least, like, or at least try to every day. You know, make your step. CPU overheating. 132 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm totally sure CPU. Totally sure. It's been saying that literally all day, and my phone isn't that hot. It really isn't. It could be the protector case, because I do have a case over it, which I think is what makes it hot for my phone. But it doesn't like having a major effect on it, so I don't know. After I chat last night, guess what I ate today? You ate a pizza. You had yourself a pizza. Are you overheating? I shouldn't be. I mean, my phone hasn't straight up overheated, like, bad before. Like, I mean, it has once or twice, but I mean, that was, like, during the summer on, like, really hot days. So, it's pretty mild and temperate today, so I don't know. I mean, it's humid, but that's about all it really is humid. I mean, other than that, it's pretty temperate. Like, when it was cloudy, it wasn't too bad, but as soon as, like, the sun was peeking through the clouds, it got pretty hot, but, you know, it wasn't bad. Pizza! I was going to make some last night, but just totally spaced on that. Totally didn't happen. Wanted it to, though. Nice Sicilian with a nice hot tomato sauce and cheese. Ooh, that sounds good. Sounds good, dude. Damn. I'm probably going to make that pizza that I was talking about last night tonight. I don't know if I'll add anything crazy to it, but I know I'm definitely going to add like a little bit of pesto, maybe a little bit of garlic. Definitely going to have that onion and olives like I like it. It's all your fault. It's all my fault. Ain't my fault that you like pizza. Pizza's good. Ain't my fault, bro. Don't attempt to, you know, just fucking put me up in that shit. Don't try to lump me in on that. No. Don't lump me into how that's my fault. No, fam, no. Not happening today. Gotta blame it on someone. Well, do what the Democrats do and just blame everything on Trump. That works. I mean, it works, I guess, because everyone just eats it all up. So, do it. Don't blame me, blame Trump. Unless you're one of those folks that really is bored of that, which I totally understand, because it's been like a few years now of just, let's just shit on Trump, and to be fair, I'm sick of it too. But at the same time, if they're doing it in like a substantive way, then I'll still be like, all right, this is legit. Like, all right, I'll be on board with that. But if it's just like, he said mean words, then I could not give a fuck. Like, I would actually support and defend him if that was like the case. But nah, I mean, it's just like meh. I'm meh about it now. I'm pretty meh. I'm Ted Cruz, meh. Now soon I'm making my nice crisp baked chicken breast stuffed with veggie stuffing and fried potatoes and onions. God damn, that is freaking like intense, dude. Holy shit. A crisp baked chicken breast stuffed with some veggies and fried potatoes with onions. Like, that is a pretty filling meal right there. Like, I'd be totally down for that. But I just had like this fat bacon burger from a food cart during my errands about like an hour ago. And I'm still settling on that. And like, it's about $13 for this fat, nice, like juicy, meaty burger, plus like a good amount of fries and like just a Coke. And ooh, it's so worth it. Like, it legit is like restaurant quality for a food cart. And on top of that, you get about as much food as restaurant quality. So, I mean, the drink, it's a glass Coca-Cola bottle. I mean, it's like a half a liter, so what you gotta live with what you got. But everything else, so good. You ain't gonna believe it, but earlier I was browsing the internet and ended up on this free live chat. Lol. Well, those chats are everywhere. I mean, like, it wouldn't be hard to find these live chats. Like, you just gotta. I mean, at this point of the stage, at least internet-wise and everything, we definitely like. There's like if there's like regular forums of something, I can guarantee you there's like a furry sub forum of it too. Like, there's like, for example, with DFF, there's straight up like a sub community of furries and shit, and also mainly weeaboos and shit like that, because they all got those anime meme icons. But I mean, there's a few of us, within the Pessimist Productions community that, we shout each other out. We're like, hey, you're here. Hey, what's up? We got like little code words that we kind of all made for ourselves, and we're all just like, hey, as like as recognition. I went to look at Wahat's site and clicked from there. Oh, you went to check out Wahat's channel and went from there? Nice. Yeah, with him, well, it's guaranteed, because even his channel is just straight up, like, furry shit. Like, you'll probably even see me at, like, some videos they might upload it on his channel. I was wrong, he had a light brown, tan, and white suit. Yeah. Well, because his whole character thing is like a Grey Wolf, I think, which, for me, it's pretty generic. I'm not gonna lie, wolves are, like, the most generic thing you can, like, think as a character. It's like, I want a character. I'm not gonna be unique and do, like a Komodo dragon or some shit. Nah, I'm gonna go with a wolf. It's like, yeah, you're like literally half of the other people around here. How will you know it's you if you are dressed up? Because it's your suit. I mean, I know what his suit looks like, so I would know it's him. And he will have a tag, and plus how he still has like body language and mannerisms that you can still pick up on. I mean, so I can still know it's him, and you can still talk through the thing. It's not like you're totally mute when you're wearing the thing. So, you can still identify who it is. If you really want to ask, just ask through the thing. It's like, who are you in there? And they can tell you if they want to. They were showing this line in 2016. Yeah, I was in that one. Not in that actual line, but he was next to me recording the whole thing. So you might see me in that a little bit. But I actually remember KTU, a local news channel, actually was talking about the local convention here in Portland, and they used that video. So it's like my second time I've been kind of noted in a news article in Portland here. The first time was the Selwood Bridge closing. I think I showed the picture on stream before. And then was I? No, just the tail. That's all I got. And plus the convention shirt and the badge it's a standard badge that they have for the conventions and stuff. So, no, I don't got the full get up. At least not yet. Not yet. Well, your tail looks nice. It is. Like, it's a pretty simply made, but pretty rugged tail. Like, because because I mean, it's able to hold its like position, but at the same time, it's not like cheaply made where it's just like it's clip-on, but it's not like cheaply like. God, I was looking and they weren't cheap. Yeah, dude. On average, I think like if you like nowadays, on average, like these suits cost like up to $1,500 to $2,000, depending on how complex your character is. Like basically, the more complex and the more flamboyant and the more expressive your character is and stuff, the more expensive you're gonna be, you know, putting your money into it. That's why mine is very simple. Like all the details are in the face, and that in the head costs the most out of all of it anyway. So just put the detail in the face. That makes it a little easier. Not easier for the maker, but a little easier for me because like I could potentially just build up instead of having to just get it all at once. Because my character's pretty simplistic. Like I'm not all about like let's have pink fur rainbow colors and shit like that. It's like, whoa, hold up now, chill. It's like, what are you doing here? Like, I kind of like the natural and like earthly colors and shit like that. So that's kind of what I've stuck with myself. The natural, like earth colors and stuff like that. I've always been like that. I've always liked natural colors and stuff. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Like most colors and most clothes I wear are pretty natural colored or simple or not explosive. Like I'm wearing this camo jacket. This is like something I wear casually, and it's actually a military jacket. But I mean, I wear black and gray for the most part. I don't wear bright, like even this red plaid, it's not bright, so it's pretty like low tint and dark and like natural like type of like charcoal grays and like ruby blood red and stuff like that, just looking at my plaid colors and stuff. So I mean, overall, I've always just been kind of attached to those type of colors of like natural earthly, which I think is a primitive thing. I think that's just, you know, just something that I've kind of like tapped in mentally probably, because considering that we've never have had so many expressive colors and shit for, you know, or at least we're able to manipulate and create these colors and stuff, and until, you know, like the last couple thousand years when we started experimenting with it. So politically speaking, where were you think this year and next week with Kavanaugh and the accuser going, by the way? I really like the blue and white one. Cool. So if you ever went that way, you know me. I really like blue and white. Oh, talking about like... Oh, talking about the colors. Oh, yeah. I kind of like if I had to pick a really big color, it would probably be like emerald or like a sapphire red, blue, or like a ruby red, like bright. Pretty much like the natural colors, but just bright, vivid versions of them. But politically speaking, with Kavanaugh, like, I personally don't care about the whole accusation thing. It's his record and the fact that he's such an insider with not just Republican GOP, but the Democrats too. It's just like, why do we need, like, just on the surface level, not even looking at the details, you are like, we shouldn't even have him on here as a Supreme Court judge. I mean, that's just not even looking at his record. It's just how, you know, everything so far has been operated around him and how he's operated himself. He acts and operates a lot like an insider establishment tool instead of like someone who actually gives a shit about the Supreme Court and the rule of law. And unfortunately, not a lot of Supreme Court judges are like that anymore. I mean, so if he were to be appointed, it's not going to be a surprise to me, and what can you do about it? But if he doesn't, I also won't be surprised, because this whole accusation thing is what's supposed to like postpone it or something like that. But you know, at that point, you might as well just get another appointee until the investigation's withheld. Because I don't know, but either way, I just feel like he shouldn't be in the Supreme Court, regardless if he had the accusation or not. They shared out there's a chat that they may have invoked Article 25, and I think Podesta in them. And I think Podesta.
That means no waking up during the middle of the night.
Hold on, let me reread that really quick. Did you hear now there's a chat that they may have invoked Article 25? Yeah, I think Podesta and them. I'm assuming you're saying has them, but all correct. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but I actually don't even really know much about Article 25, so, thought that I meant to say. And I think Podesta thought of him. Okay, so you meant to say Podesta thought of it. Okay. To remove Trump. Oh, okay. So Article 25 to remove. Okay. I know what Article 25. Never mind. All right. So to remove, like, essentially that would just basically be like impeachment or something like that. And honestly, it's just like I don't think if, like, here's how I don't know. Like, here's how I see it. Like, I don't think that would work, because then it will look like there's a coup within the administration. But if Trump were to look like he's trying to do dictatorial powers by basically instilling that he can overrule, like, you know, law and the land, you know, the law of the land, essentially hold gain all not like total absolute powers, but, you know, essentially gain most powers of the government. Like, potentially, president has the ability to do that. Now, it's never been, like, clarified at all, because no president has ever done that. But potentially they could. They could. If they wanted to, they really could. So, it's highly unconstitutional, and it could be a big, fat legal court battle, but once they've done that, what's stopping them? You know what I mean? Like, after that, the Constitution it doesn't even really mean much now anymore anyway, but if they would really do that, what's that piece of hemp paper ever going to really mean? So, I mean, you need his staff and 2/3 Congress to agree of it, and of course, Pence. Well, Pence would be okay with it, because then he'd be president. That just gives him more power. But, like, if you were able to make that see that opportunity and seize it, I can guarantee you Mike Pence will take it. He's more of an establishment insider than Trump ever dreamed of it. You know, so, like, of course, if he saw that opportunity, he would do a silent coup and seize it, become the president. If you notice lately, yeah, if you notice Pence looking at Trump, it seems like he's thinking of his nutty way. I think it's because he's sick of him, which I don't blame him. He is, like, Trump's straight up just a clown on the national stage of the world. Like, this proclamation or whatever he did before Hurricane Florence. It's like, this has been the wettest hurricane from the standpoint of water. Based on one else. Nice. Smart statement. Smart statement. Like, never knew that. Like, oh, how wet are you today, Florence? Oh, I'm a pretty wet hurricane today. Oh, it's like, no shit. Nice. Very concise. Very eloquent. Thank you, Trump. It's like, come on. I mean, can we, like... Alright, but that's a legal coup in a way. His backers ain't gonna sit for it. Yeah, that's the thing. Are his backers truly, like... You could probably win some of them over to Pence. Some of them. But like, let's say about 35% of the country are Trump loyalists. Just loyal. I can say that maybe about 5% of them have an ability to maybe be won over by Pence or whatever. But I feel like the other 30% are going to be so attached to their new God Emperor Trump, basically, that I think they would maybe not incite, like, a civil war, but threaten the fuck out of it. And I think some people might take it far enough to try to incite it themselves by actions of violence or however means. And because, I mean, we've seen similar acts like that even with Obama's administration. There was this kooky Christian guy who shot up a Planned Parenthood because he had dreams where God was, like, coming down from, like, the gates of heaven, but the gates of heaven were, like, covered in, like, baby guts and blood and shit. Like, the guy was a mental fucking psychopath who should probably be in an insane asylum in solitary confinement for the rest of his life. Like, the dude was legitimately mentally unstable and a psychopath, and decided to shoot up. Like, you know, I mean, you get the point. Like, I mean, there's examples of not just the left or the right. I mean, it's just examples of people who are crazy, you know, who will do things for a political motivation. And because abortion is a big social issue in this country, you know, during the time, especially with the whole big Planned Parenthood debacle, he came out and decided to shoot one of them up because he believed, you know, all the crazy conspiracies about it and shit. I think we've come close to Civil War. There was talk about helping gun sales, just talking of it. Well, yeah, because when you're talking about Civil War, some people are just going to want to buy more ammo and guns for themselves because the threat of it, you know, is looming to them. And honestly, I don't see it. We are definitely more divided, but we're too distracted by technology like this, and too distracted by commercialization, advertisement, and capitalization of exploitation of this whole world to even give a fuck. Like, we're not going to have a Civil War. Like, as much as people... Yeah, I mean, as much as people love to, like, say, we're going to have a civil war soon, there's going to be one coming out, like, I don't see it. We're too distracted. We're too desensitized to violence, too, and we're too disorganized, too divided, which, you know, I guess the Civil War is a very extremely too divided nation, but even amongst ourselves and our own ideologies, and, like, the left and the right, we're too divided. Like, there's no organization. There's too much manipulation and exploitation of the lower classes to even unify well. And, like, there's too many factors to say that we're going to be in a civil war. Now, if things were a little different and we weren't as distracted with this, or we were far more unified, but, I mean, I don't see that happening. Sorry, but my generation did a lot in space and giving new technology, but now it's your time, generation. You get off your collective asses to fix the current. You don't need to ask me. I think the same way. Like, I mean, it's also not just our generation that's not doing shit either. I mean, or yours. I mean, yours has already been through it. Like, your generation shouldn't do anything anymore at this point. It should be Gen X and ours, and the current ones that are trying to work through it. And fortunately, a lot of them are too stupid to do anything about it, or too distracted. One of the two. So it's kind of like, oh, hey, ignorance is a bliss. Let's, just enjoy that instead of getting woke enough to at least be like, hey, the world's fucked up. We should work to solutions to fix it for the greater humanity. Like, you definitely don't gotta tell me that. I already know that. They had Nixon, got rid of his crooked ass. Yeah, and at least with that, and the thing is with that, it wasn't even because he was doing scandals and, spying on his political opponents and shit. It's because he lied about it. That's why he got taken down. It's because he lied about it. So, granted, Trump lies about everything, and the reason why he's even getting away with that, because that's normal now. The reason why Nixon got taken down, because even then, lying was not the norm. You don't just openly lie like that. So when Nixon did that, that's the thing about Trump. Like, he's doing all this shit that's essentially normalized now. He ain't gonna get caught or get taken down for it, or all this corruption that is pretty blatant. He ain't gonna get caught for that. He ain't gonna get prosecuted for it. That's normal day-to-day shit. That's just coming out in the daylight because it's Trump this time. That's why there's the whole Russia investigation, the whole accusations and the Me Too thing, because those are new things. Those, we got to find something to get at him with, because this other shit we agree with him too much on. So, even though he did a lot of good. Yeah, because to be fair, Nixon did do the EPA. He did, there are policies and things that he has generally done that are, it's how he operated himself, and especially with how paranoid and pretty crooked he was, but with the pressure to impose these good policies and shit, like the EPA, for example, and stuff like that, you can't take that away from him for sure. So with Nixon, Nixon's definitely a weird, interesting president, because in a lot of ways he was a crooked piece of shit, but in a lot of other ways too, he's pretty not bad. In fact, there's a lot of things we can thank him for. So for Nixon, honestly, thinking about him, especially as long as I've thought about him for the last few years, he's definitely I think he's the mixed bag of presidents we've had out there in a while. If you had to pick out which one is the most kerfluffle mixed bag of all these presidents, I would probably say Nixon is, because there's a lot of shit that's terrible about him, and there's a lot of things that are actually we should be thanking and like bowing to him for, like the EPA, and you know, like he's kind of interesting. I'll have to I want to do like a personal like little project and just do research on him. Actually, like try to learn about this shit and stuff like that. Oh, and another example of some terrible shit he did was the systemic, well, for Nixon especially, it was a systemic racist crackdown on black, well, I mean, this wasn't a racist crackdown, but a systemic crackdown on hippies as well, because they wanted to crack down on the hippie leftists for smoking weed, and they wanted to get the black minorities for doing meth and heroin and shit like that, and crack or whatever other hard drugs or whatever. So, I mean, there's another piece of shit thing about Nixon, but I mean, I don't know, he's definitely a very peculiar character. He's definitely peculiar, I can give him that much. But, just say no, lol. That's Reagan. I'm pretty sure Reagan, with his wife, Nancy Reagan, was the Just Say No campaign, which I'm not necessarily against. Like, you know, if you truly don't want to do anything, just say no, you know? And if they are pressuring you, then make it your authority and say, fuck, no, leave me alone with it. Like, you know, you gotta be authoritative with that type of thing. But, I mean, of course, it's far more complex of a thing than just say no. And honestly, it shouldn't be a whole public policy thing to just say no. You should actually have, like, policies that actually would affect people better. Like, oh, well, you are addicted, let's get you public rehabilitation so you can get back on track in society. Or let's regulate them so we can make them safer for people. If they do use it, they won't die the first, like, half dose they take or something like that. But didn't Nixon's wife get involved? Maybe, but I don't know much. Like I said before, I don't know much about Nixon, his administration, or his life, or his wife. Especially the wife. I honestly didn't realize that he obviously had a wife, but I didn't realize that she was like as involved as she might have been. So again, I don't know. So maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, like a lot of presidents' wives have actually played a pretty big part in American politics than we like to think. Like, Eleanor Roosevelt, FDR's wife, she played a pretty big factor and was, like, seen as, like, this, like, godmother for America type of thing. Like, she was seen as, as a feminine icon, in a way. At least in that time. Get out your Joe Reed-correct tonight. My mind moving that faster than fingers. Yeah. I mean, what you just gotta do is, before you send your comment, just read to see if there's any misspellings or whatever, or anything. Just try to, you know, I mean, it's just about, you know, taking the time to what you gotta say. I mean, that's what I've been working on, is before, you know, you got shit to say, of course, and especially with live stream, it's a lot easier to just say what I'm saying instead of typing it out or whatever. But, I mean, even if it's a little slower, I mean, just make sure that you're actually just make sure your comments can, you know, at least coherent and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes it's worth it. But yeah, I mean, like there's also this other female, the wife. I think it was President Taylor, John Taylor. I think who he basically was only a president for like a month or something like that before he died, but basically his wife handled pretty much all policy and all presidential affairs while he was sick in bed for most of his presidency before he died. So, I mean, essentially one president wasn't even truly the president, but his wife was. It was just that she wasn't official. She basically just was in the same room with his administrators, and she just did everything for him because he was too sick and decrepit to do anything or even think, really. How's the bar? Pretty good. We end up staying up until like 5 in the morning because chatting and talking. I mean, and Robin totally like passed out at like 3, so he was asleep for like 2 hours, like right here, just out it took like 30 minutes to wake him up finally and get them on their way so I can go to sleep and shit. It was, yeah, it was fun though. I had some water, so I woke up, did not have a hangover or nothing. I mean, I didn't even really drink that much at all. I mean, I usually only have like 2 drinks at that bar, and that gets me like buzzed, but that's about it. You know, I mean, and also I know Michelle Obama's been another good female president, or not female president, but I know she's been a presidential wife that's, you know, had a lot of impact on national policy too as well. So I mean, it won't surprise me if I bet Logan had a hangover. Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, actually, no, because he had bread and a cup of water before he left. So it's probably Robin that had the hangover. He did not. He straight up just refused to drink water before he left. Like, he was like, Logan was like, "Here, have this water," and he was like, "No, I'm good." It's like, that will straight up make you feel better, but okay, okay. If you don't want it, fine. That's okay. You're just gonna feel like shit, but I can't literally force feed you water, so I'm not going to. I mean, it's pretty much the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. Okay, now what did you drink? Inquiring minds want to know? I had a Black Russian. Well, 1.5, because I got 2 for Robert here, but you only had half of one, and then you had to leave. So I finished it off. And then I had a Cherry Jack and Coke. And then about an hour-ish later in the night, when we did one more round after we smoked outside and stuff, I had a Ace Pineapple beer, which was pretty good. It's pretty good cider. But after that, didn't have anything else. So I didn't have like a lot. Like, I started off with a pretty strong one, then I kind of started something in the middle, and then I kind of had a light one to kind of not go hard as I'm like about to leave, and you know. So
how's your charger doing?
Oh, how's it doing? It's at 20%. What's it at?
Ain't no save percentage.
Oh, well that's stupid. Why? It should tell you what the percentage of your phone battery is. That helps so much. If it gives you a bar, that doesn't really tell you a lot. I mean, that literally doesn't tell me. I can literally guess if that's like 40, 30%. Like, I couldn't tell. Like, it should tell you like what percentage it is. Like, why? Your phone's like your phone's ain't. Like even what's better is if they had at least like bars. Like, if they have 5 bars or like 4 bars, at least that tells you there's like at least a certain amount. Like 4 bars will make me assume, okay, there's 4 quarters, so each bar is probably like 25% or something. But it's just nothing. It's just like, what the frick?
Yeah, it's sitting down there pretty long. Where's your charger?
Mine's in my room, but it doesn't charge as well at all.
I need a charger.
Alright. Chargers suck.
I'll wait, charge up and I'll get back to you.
Going back and forth. That's how we do it.
What is this? This battery's too low.
Fix it now with this advertisement. Yeah, they're like, my phone will sometimes say you need this like security thing, and I do it, but like I actually had to delete the security app because it just straight up shits my phone dead. Well, not like dead, but it slows it down so much I can't use it. So I got rid of that app, and I'm able to use it just fine again. I don't get it. Like, at this point, I pretty much have to like use it like a few times.
Right over there.
This is moving everywhere. I thought this was meant to just chill right there. I wonder who moved it over there. I don't know. But yeah, like what was I saying? What was I saying?
What I would like to get is just another battery.
Yeah, like, I mean, that would be nice too. I hate your battery. Hey, my battery, it's not the battery that's the issue, it's the charger that's the issue. Like, like I'm able, like my battery's actually okay enough to still stream right now, so that's not the issue. It's it's when it's low and I'm charging it, it's how fast is that charger. And if I'm doing stuff like this, it will either just stagnate or still drain regardless. But this one actually will keep charging regardless what I'm doing. So I mean, we just need another one like this or something. Like they need, yeah, like I mean, why can't all chargers just be that efficient? You need a turbocharger, yeah. Like, why can't we just have the quality of turbochargers? Like, come on. Like, why do we need this cheap, like, this bullshit or whatever? It's like, oh, this lasts like a month, and then it's starting to get loose, and then after that, like 4 months later, you just can't even hook it up anymore. It's like, nice. It's like, nah. It's like, great, now I have to spend like $10 later down the line to the same company and shit. It's like, really? You're giving me a shit, like, low-quality charger when you're like this profound big company? Shouldn't you have like the most highest quality of like chargers and shit like that or something?
Well, they want to get your money.
Exactly. That's what they do. Hey there. Well, how do you do, Kyle? Mario My 6? Holy shit, dude. 6, and it's only like, what? 7/16? Well, I guess it's like 10/16 for you, but damn. Drink it like water. It's 10 here.
You better have 10 here.
It's not 10 here. It's 3-hour difference. It had 2 rum and coke set before that. Ooh. Oh. I did this, and I just got like a blast of invincible like butane just in my face.
Schools teach kids that they cannot be trusted to learn, and that they're not going to do it, and they're not good at it. And I find that teachers and peers make the eager, valuable children feel worthless, untrustworthy, and fit only to take other people's work. What? We have a child, he's a blank sheet, so we can write all over it. And we want to put indelible marks all over his soul, all over his mind.
Huh? What does Clyde talk about today?
And that's the sad thing.
I was hearing about education earlier, so...
I take care of my child, I provide for my child. Why hasn't he turned out the way he did? Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's obvious why.
Probably the
Look at
pain.
the examples they have now. Look at what they're seeing.
By the way, clean my 5th shank is 148 now, 3 died. Damn. But you keep gaining more, so 3 have just been merely replaced. Those were just replacements for the faulty cogs in their school of collective fish. But that's cool. I mean, got like more of them and got it all cleaned up. Shit, like I definitely could like that's what we need in here. It's like a little hobby thing like that. Get that fish tank like set up again, have some fish, and we just take care of it. If only you were closer, I could ship you a fish tank load. Oh God, what's my favorite beer? So far, I have to say Ace Pineapple. It's technically a cider, but honestly, it's just a beer. But that's my favorite right now. Like I mean, I could say like Not Your Father's or whatever, but that's pretty. That's kind of to me. That's just my go-to. Essentially, if I can't find anything that seems like interesting or peculiar, like that would be my go-to. But if I had to like pick if I had to like drink one type of beer for like the rest of my life, it will be like an Ace Pineapple or something like that. 3-way tie. Ah, so Stefan has 3 favorites that are tied together. Rogue Dead Guy, Rogue Hazelnut, and Guinness. I've had the Rogue Hazelnut that you're talking about, Stefan, and I had it with Tyler and Logan on this night raft trip that we did, and I don't know, like, now that I've drank enough beers, now I'm kind of realizing what I don't like about most beers, and it's the hops. It's the hops in it. It's like the taste and the bitterness of it. I just don't like.
It's like piss.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't mind the effect it gets because it makes me kind of giggly. Like I've seen what hops do to Tyler, it makes him all giggly and stuff. But but that flavor, I just don't like it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily taste like piss, but, you know, depending on the beer, oh yeah, it can. But with, like, the Rogue Hazelnut, like you were talking about, it didn't taste like it tasted peculiar. Like, it had a really interesting flavor and everything. But, and for a beer, I could tell it was not bad at all, but I guess I just don't like the hops bitterness flavor that is in pretty much in all beers, and so I'm just not like a straight up beer guy, so I just prefer other different types of drinks, I guess. There is booze and then there's burr.
Yep.
The hops plant is in the Cannabacea family, as the same as the cannabis genus. Or, wow, that's pretty cool. Cannabacea, or Cannabacea. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm sure, like, in the cannabis genus, I'm sure there's, like, more than just, like, the cannabis that we obviously are aware of. I wonder what other type of plants would be in that genus. It would be kind of interesting to look into that type of biology. I mean, there are, like, at least 1,000 plants that have, like, that have proven, like, sources of DMT in it. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if, like, there's a genus for, like Cannabacea or cannabis genus, thing. You know what I'm talking about. But it's better to smoke than drink in that genus. That is true. Yeah. I definitely prefer to smoke whatever's in the cannabis genus than drink it. Unless it's like, I mean, well, it depends on it. But hops, I'm definitely not a big fan of, really. The cannabis genus is just cannabis. Cannabacea is what they have in common. So just pretty much like the common ancestor, where that all these plants in this genus have like that similarity from them. So I mean, yeah, I obviously know that they're not literally like cannabis hops and shit is. They have enough similarities where they come from the same genus, which means they came from a common ancestor. So I'd be kind of curious to see what other plants and other plant life have evolved from that common ancestor. It's not just with cannabinoid plants that we're familiar with and the hops and what, it'd be kind of interesting to see what other plants are out there. I mean, there's, like, even to this day, we're discovering, like, new plants and shit, new species, so, I mean, it'll be kind of interesting to see what, truly, like, how many are out there and stuff. That'd be really cool to check out. 720. Alright. There's just one thing I have to finish up after the stream, so I'm actually just doing this for, like, an hour or so, just to kill time and stuff. I was running around all day, and I'm taking my break. But I've been going for like 40 minutes, so I'll say like another 30 minutes, and I think I'll call it good for today. I'll be here tomorrow. And plus there is some things I need to work on for a video as well, so after I finish up some other personal shit, I'm going to do some channel-related shit for myself and get that going. So, got a few things that I need to work on after this, but all good. I mean, this whole financial thing with school is just, oh my god. It is literally the biggest pain in my ass, man. Like, I have to, like, find my freaking W-2s for literally 2 months of work for 2016, which is just, oh my god. And, FAFSA, yeah. Like, I got the FAFSA itself specifically done, but the school needs, like, a few more things that I guess wasn't in the FAFSA, or they didn't need it, but the school needs it. I honestly don't know what the fuck, who needs what. I just know that they need my W-2s, and they need, like, a parental IRS fucking thing. I don't know what. But it's just, like, it's just like these hurdles that are like, come on. It's like, it's a very simple hurdle, but it's just like, with school basically starting next week, it's just like, this is like seriously? Can't I just have it processed and done so I don't have to worry about this bullshit anymore? I mean, I had to do this last year. It wasn't this bad, but this year it's just been exceptionally just ridiculous. And like part of it is unable to find time with how much I was working like the past month and a half, and then part of it is, I mean, they did a system upgrade. Like FastFoot did that for themselves, and then also the school did that. But it's just like, it's ridiculous this year. Like, this year it's just been bullshit. And, like, I'm not going to get into all the details, because, I mean, there's personal information, obviously. But, I mean, overall, oh my god, I hate it. It's like, it was generally, like, the biggest struggle this year was just dealing with this FastFoot and shit. It's ridiculous, man. Ignar doesn't love beer, not a man. Dude, I drink, like, tequila, like, I've drank vodka, I've drank, like, dude, like, I've drank hard liquors before, like, that's more my thing, like, I like to have that type of stuff, like, bruh, wah. I'm a time killer, wah, wah. I want to be more, I'm turning my own filter on now of bubbles. Whoa, wait, you have your own filter for bubbles? Like, wait, during these live streams you can do your own filters? What? Is this, like, a new thing? I never knew you could do this. Seriously? Like, while I'm doing my thing, you can, like, interact here and do your own filters and shit? Huh. I mean, if that's legit, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna find out how I can do that. Because then I can just watch TJ no matter what filter he has on. Nah, he's just joking. No, if I want to. You got me kind of excited for a second. I didn't think that was the case, but, man, that would be funny. I mean, that would be kind of funny, like, watching TJ, he has, like, his black and white filter, and then I can just turn on bubbles, and it'll be, like, bubbles over his black and white, and, like, what if he turns up bubbles, and I have bubbles as a filter, it's just, like, more bubbles all over the place. That would be kind of funny. It would be kind of annoying to try to watch if you got, like, so many filters going on, but it'll be like, who cares? It just look ridiculous and absurd. Well, welcome, Jimmy. Welcome. What it do? Got off work today at 3. Boss lady asked if I could work a dinner service shift. I said, hell no. Been there since 10 a.m. Yeah, dude, you got, like, it's okay to do doubles, like, every now and then, but don't accept it every time, because then, even if your work is not intentionally doing it, they're just going to start exploiting you for that. Like I said, they might not intentionally be doing that because they're just seeing you as a very helpful person and they want, they're using your help. And they know that you offer it a lot or are willing to do that a lot. So don't do it every time. Let them know it's like, hey, I got a personal life too. So, I mean, I got some shit to do, or, I don't want to do it. I'm really tired, so I'm going to probably take a nap, eat some food or something. Like, it's okay to, like, be like, hey, I don't want to do a double today. Maybe, like, tomorrow or some shit if you need it. Next time, don't, just be like, nah. I totally understand that, man. Like, our work is, like, with the way things have been structured lately, we can't do doubles and stuff, but if we were able to, if we could, and I was offered, I wouldn't mind doing it, but I wouldn't do it like, I would do it like a once a week thing, especially if I really need the money. I was mainly in the dish pit today. Yeah, and that stuff is just it's like tedious and like pretty, like I've kind of switched it around to be like therapeutic in a way, because I mainly just listen to a podcast or music when I'm doing it, and that helps me keep my mind in like a daydream, but not like an actual daydream, you know what I mean, like, but I'm still able to do my job really functionally and stuff at the same time, there's like I've kind of made it a way where I can operate with the workspace without the fact of how shitty that, truly that job really is when you think about it. Like, You know, because when I'm sitting there thinking about, like, man, look at all these fucking dishes. Man, they didn't even soak them, and now I have to deal with all this, and I have to try to scrub all this bullshit. It's going to take me, like, if you say, like, I mean, that you're not going to want to do work if that's what you're thinking. So, plug in a podcast, you know, listen to a debate or something like that. It gets me thinking about that, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's pretty, you know, it gets me, I end up just not giving a shit about what I'm actually doing, but just thinking about that. And to me, that just makes me work more efficiently, I think. So, I mean, I can't really do that until around after 7 o'clock, because after that, you kind of have enough stuff closed at the front, where if you're working in the back, you can get away with it, because the person in the front usually can handle it. Do you wash dishes, or just prepare, like, hotel pans and Prepware plastic? No, I do dishes. Depending on what side I work. Like, if I'm working in the front, I don't normally do a lot of dishes. I'll help out with them and stuff. But if I'm working in the back, then yes, I am doing a lot of dishes. And we mainly, it's all sorts of random shit. It's mostly like metal trays, metal pans, pots, bowls, metal bowls and stuff. But we got like plastic cutting boards and plastic wares. Like, we got, you know, it's just all sorts of shit. Just anything. Like, for the most part, we got just mostly like metal trays, pans, and shit like that, and metal bowls. But we got like some plasticware for storage, and like we got plastic tubs for like flour and stuff when we're prepping chicken. You guys have dishes like plates? So our grocery store does have a seating area, but we don't have like straight up plates and stuff. I mean, we have like a few, but they're mostly just for display. So they're just put outside, and like if we have like a little sample thing like on our counter, we will use it for that. But we don't use them for just like for people to use. Like, it's for us to use for like display or samples or things like that, or to put in our display case, you know, putting something in there. So, I mean, we don't, so it's not like restaurant type of thing. It's like, it's more like industrial plastic plates, pans, shit like that. We are entitled to free beer at the restaurant. Fuck yeah, dude. However, our head chef took that away because people didn't clean before closing. Well, that's because of their work ethic alone. Sounds like those are people taking advantage. Like, yeah, if we just, you know, try to rush and get out early, we can fucking just have our beers and go home and chill, bro. It's like, nah, dude. Nah. Do your fucking job. Like, I was actually just at my work dealing with my whole financial shit and getting some of that out of the way before I came back home. And I stopped by my department. You know, it was a Friday. I wanted to see how everyone was doing. It was just after 5, so the cook just left. So, you know, they were all, you know, kind of in a hectic situation. But the person at 5 didn't fucking clean up their messes and shit. Left the fryers looking like a fucking abysmal mess. It looked awful. Like, I'm like, what the fuck happened today? Like, did anyone even do anything? It was terrible, dude. And it's, you know, that's just people just not doing their fucking job. And for us, it's mainly a problem because we have to leave at a certain time. It's just not because we're incentivized to not, you know, do that type of shit. It's just that a lot of ways we can't. So then when we can't, you know, get out at a certain time, when we got so much shit to do, we just end up saying fuck it, not doing it. When we should probably say fuck it, I'm going to stay overtime and actually do my job, which is what I usually do. Which, I mean, I've even talked with PICs, too, because they were feeling the same effect, and normally they don't, but they are, because of the district managers are the ones fucking us over in this case, and with them, like, they're even saying, like, we can't even do our own closing duties for, you know, PICs at, like, 7 to 8 o'clock for, like, customer service desk, or for other, you know, closing up certain things and shit like that. You know, polling some of the check stands so we can install that, so it's all out of the way. You know, doing finalizing shit. They need at least, like, they don't have that time to do it. The PICs don't, and they're even saying, "Fuck it, we're just going to do overtime because we can't do it." You know, we need to do our job, and the way our hours are, we can't. And it's like that in our department. It's literally like that in the whole store, and I would assume the whole district now, since the district managers are fucking us. And this is honestly due to the whoever, which I haven't looked into yet, which actually I'm probably going to do for my video, is look into who bought Safeway, so I can kind of look at some of the gritty detail work of why we're getting so fucked. Because it's the people that are corrupt and the ones who lobby our government and shit and exploit the fuck out of us that are the ones causing the problem. And I'm experiencing it. So, what do you know? What do you know? Just living the American dream, am I right? The restaurant I worked at Let's eat a free meal with meat each night. I mean, of course, chef discretion. Oh, hell yeah, man. See, I should, I need to start getting into like I need to find a local restaurant and see about maybe applying there or something. It seems like the local restaurants have a more, just better communication and more cooperation amongst people, or at least they have a system that's, encouraging that type of idea. My position is a deli clerk, so I literally just work the deli. I mean, it's just kind of a general position. I'm not like a manager or anything. I worked there long enough where if the managers are gone and everyone has been working less time than me, I am technically a sit-in manager, but I mean, that doesn't really say much. I don't know much about any manager position at all, so I couldn't do it. Dude, here in the restaurant, everyone in the kitchen goes outside and takes a hit once every 30 minutes. Well, you can kind of get away with it. I mean, people aren't seeing you cook usually, unless you got like one of those big open, kitchen areas and shit. What the fuck? I'm hearing a pup. I'm hearing a dog. Hold up. What's going on here? I'll just be right back. I think I might know who this is.
You are listening to Ground Zero. Light your candles, get on your knees and pray, do whatever you can. America is surrendering itself to the devil. And I'm not saying this as a preacher. I'm saying this because the reality has set in. If I haven't said it with you yet, you better start waking up and wising up, because the devil is knocking 3 times on the gates of this country. And it is happening. And I'm not speaking metaphorically, I'm not speaking, I want people to understand that, I have a spiritual self that I want to preserve. And I open myself to all kinds of spirituality. I've talked to many people.
Yeah, I'll just bring you guys, because he doesn't want to come in. Koopa! Koopa! Where'd he go? You guys might recognize this guy. Oh! Hey, what's up? What's going on? How much? Hey, buddy! Koopa!
Don't let him get anything.
He ain't. Come here, what are you doing? Here, we'll go outside with you. How about that? Oh my goodness. Oh my, Cooper. Cooper. Stay here. Oh. It's Duke. This is not Duke. This is the Coops. Look at him. Oh, he's funny. The boss lady knows we are stoners. We just keep it under the radar. Nice. Cooper, what are you doing? Cooper. Hey. Oh my God. What you doing, bro? What you doing? He's a goofball, dude. Oh my goodness. I'll disable flash now. Yeah, you did all your running around outside now, buddy? Oh, look at your face. Look at that face. Oh my goodness. Do you want in? Do you want in, you goofball? Alright, I will let you in now. Oh my goodness. He's a wild boy. Yeah, my brother showed up, so he brought his pup. So, that's cool. Didn't expect a wild Cooper to appear, so he showed up. But, whoop. Oh shit, my phone's about to die too. Actually, I might as well say it's a good time to get ready for an outro. It pays to live a stone's throw away from a restaurant. Oh, I bet, dude. It really does.
I've talked with all of them.
I had hamburger made and given to me one night by Stoner. It would have been great if she remembered to put the hamburger on before we served it on a platter with fries. So she basically gave you a burger without the burger. She gave you a burger without the patty? Damn. Damn. Either that person's a hardcore vegan or, yeah, they are a hardcore stoner. Or both. I mean, it could be both. But I'm pretty sure it's a hardcore stoner, because if they were working at a restaurant that has burgers and stuff, I'm sure they're not going to be a vegan. Because they're all about being against that type of shit. Patty was on the grill.
Typical Satanism. It's new forms of Nazism. It's communism. It's the idea of allowing...
Clyde, whoa, pump your brakes, dude. Clyde Lewis, pump your fucking brakes. Dude, you just literally, what, I don't know what you're calling it, but you literally called it Satanist, Nazi, and a communistic. Yeah, huh? Whoa, pump your brakes, Clyde. Clyde is woke. He is woke as fuck, dude. He is woke. Dude, like, he's woke. I mean, he's going after the Satanists, the communists, the Nazis. I mean, he's woke, bro. It helps you get through the day. Yeah, I mean, look at Anthony Bourdain, honestly. Like, that guy was a hardcore, not just a stoner, but just a drug user, too, all the way. I mean, even my culinary teacher in high school, he was, I could just tell, was just a stoner. Greetings, fuckers! Just got here. Well, welcome. Greetings to you, too, good sir.
Reconstructed Arch of Palmyra, the original of which was the entrance to a temple for the horn god Baal, will reappear in Washington, D.C. They're calling it a social resilience. Baal is a pagan god, reportedly, or basically...
Amphetamines are the best drug while working, I tell you what.
And the rites of Baal were marked with child sacrifice.
I'm still definitely a ganja guy, though, for sure. You gotta love the ganjas for the work, because for me, at least, it definitely helps with my productivity. Unless I smoke too much, I mean. But, I mean, I know my limit to the, or at least, like, know where my tolerance is, so I don't, like, get too fucked up before work. So I'm not, like, helping people. I'm actually, still functional. Like, I haven't honestly been, like, stupid high in a long time, so, like, at some point, I'm probably gonna try to do that at one point. Probably not soon, but, maybe at some point. Did you take the DMT? I have not. I have not taken the DMT. But I know Stalin has taken the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Who else took it? Mao took the DMT. Obama took the DMT. I mean, Trump took the we can go down that list. I mean, let's go down the list of who took the DMT for sure. Like, Lincoln took the DMT. I gave a free thumbs up. You have to earn the next one. Cool. Well, I get a couple thumbs up throughout these streams. So next time, hopefully, I'll get one earned. Like, there'll be definitely highlights within these streams. I've done them before, but at some point I definitely want to work on, like, getting a compilation of just, like, highlight rants and shit like that, where I just go in a rant, like, where I get my best rants and, like, my best, like, points, or just, like, some really, really interesting discussions. I thought, should be, like, a little clip for people to check out. I could definitely want to do that, because that'll kind of help, solidify, like, points I've made before, and I'm like, yeah, that's a really cool, awesome point. I want to, clip that out and, put that as a separate thing so people can see this specifically. Stuff like that. So, at some point I want to do that. So, just a new sub, just so you know. Well, right on. Well, welcome. I do these streams. I try to do them, like, at least once a day, or at least every other day. But yeah, I mean, all I do here is just chat with the chat. We just talk about anything, really. I mean, anything goes. Dude, all throughout my childhood, so extremely high doses of amphetamines for ADHD. No wonder I went crazy. ADHD equal fake illness, kids will act like kids. I mean, I won't say ADHD is a fake illness, but I would say it's overdiagnosed, and I would also say that the way it's treated is also mistreated. Like, I think there's far better alternatives to treat ADHD than amphetamines and other forms of drugs and pills and shit. Like, there definitely is better. Like, I've had a friend who took amphetamines for his ADHD, and he straight up felt miserable and depressed every time he had them. But when he started smoking weed, he would feel like the positive effects that the amphetamines gave him for calming him down, slowing his mind a little bit. Kids aren't supposed to take that much drugs. Well, to be fair, they shouldn't be taking drugs, period. But if they need to for medicinal purposes, then give them the proper dosage and give them a safe medical, the medical treatment they need. And, back for the point I was making with marijuana, like, he would smoke that, and he would, feel the positive effects of him slowing him down, kind of calming him down a little bit, kind of taking it back mentally for him, but it didn't make him feel like shit at all. It didn't make him feel depressed, it didn't make him feel tired or sleepy or all the negative side effects that came with taking the prescription pills that he did. And this is thumbnail Pocahontas. No, it's Hillary. It's a liquid Clinton. It's the water form of Hillary Clinton, because she's a slippery, wet snake. But I needed something really absurd for the title of the stream, so I picked that. When I was 7 to 8, I was taking 90 milligrams of amphetamines a day, and that's fucked up. No kid should be taking that. That's fucked up. I mean, I'd rather have them take, a 90 milligram, THC or CBD, pill or something like that, or, or anything like that, like a cannabinoid alternative, because that has proven to be far more effective treating ADHD and ADD too, or just any other general mental illness. Usually there's always been positive outcomes with that usage. Not with everybody, but for most cases and for most people, it's been a positive result for them. And we should be having doctors prescribe that for people with mental illness like bipolar disorder and depressive disorder, ADHD, and all these other things that, whether or not are genetic or not, or have just been induced into us because of the environment and how society's been, regardless of how it's been developing, we should at least have proper treatment for it. I took antipsychotics for Asperger's. Why do you, I have Asperger's too, and why the fuck, why does someone with Asperger's need to fucking take medication for it? You want to know what I had? I just had extra developmental classes on the side in elementary school and middle school, but after high school, they didn't see a necessity for that anymore. They noticed that I've, at this point, developed enough to be pretty good on my own, and after that, I never took any medication, and I never once had to take just anything. All I had was counseling, and just every now and then I would just have a separate class along with my other classes, where there would just be mainly social social developmental classes, which I don't see as necessarily as a bad thing. Some people are just socially, they have social walls and social anxieties and shit, and for some people that class like that, it's helpful, and for me it was. I mean, at the time I thought it made me feel like some stupid idiot or this retard or some shit, but no, I mean, it wasn't that at all, and actually people in the classes weren't like that either. They were, they had social illnesses and social anxiety problems like, me and shit. And to be fair, a bunch of other people in the school too, not just me, but these are people who are a little bit more exceptional and outliers and have actual diagnosed issues that are a little bit more severe than like ADHD and shit like that. But for the most part, I mean, everyone in there was fairly chill, and we just obviously had our social, struggles and our, own mental problems. But I mean, that's how I met my friend fucking Tyler. He was in that's how we met. Him and I were in one of those classes, and literally after high school, him and I didn't have any of those classes anymore, and we just had any other class like we did. I think they were trying to encourage it with Tyler more, but he straight up was like, no, I don't want to. And they're like, all right, you don't want to, you don't want to. You think fine. Like, he made a conscious decision, and they respected it. And for me, they just didn't see a need. The only drugs I take now are antihistamines. I don't know much about those, but, I mean, for me, like, I don't really, like, the last, like, medication I've took was just, like, some antibiotics for, that lung infection I had. I did a few streams when I had that infection and shit, and I talked about it a little bit, actually. I don't know if anyone might, remembers that still, but, for allergies, bro? Okay, that's what they are. I don't really have allergies, so I don't know much about, all the ins and outs of all these fucking pharmaceutical pills and shit, man. Like, I just know that, for the most part, they're exploitive. At one point, I was prescribed Dexoxin, literal methamphetamine, hydrochloride. What the fuck, dude? Like, it's not even the fact you were prescribed that, it's the fact that that's just prescribed. And that's a thing out there for people to take. It's like, whoa. Why? Like, I can guarantee you, like, whatever the fuck that is meant to, like, alleviate and resolve, I'm sure it's a better alternative. Did it make you tired or crazy? Like, what? This is, like, you don't hear about these problems out in fucking Europe and out in these other Western nations and shit. You just don't hear about this type of shit. If it is, it's just very minute, pretty small outliers. Like, I honestly have never heard any of these type of stories anywhere but the U.S. I've never heard them. Only here in the U.S. So it's just fucked. Like, we are just in a really fucked systemic problem here that we got going on. Like, how can people, who are just average people and the average Joe, be like, against Medicare for All or universal healthcare when they are actively getting fucked by our current healthcare system. And we spend more on GDP on healthcare than any other modern nation and spend most out of it, but yet like 38 to 45,000 people die from a lack of healthcare, and millions are uninsured. And it's like how can you not look at our system and say it's not fucked? I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's making me giggling delirious oddist. I mean, to be fair, I'm like that too, but I never took any medication. It's just because I'm just an oddist. But, I want to, like, I don't think, sort of thing, not really anymore. Yeah, like, I don't know. One pill leads to another, too much medication. Yeah. Like, I look at my mom, because she has to take so much medication, and I fucking worry when she doesn't need to take them anymore, when, her health gets better. Like, literally, for probably, 6 years? 7, 8 now?
No, I've been up here for 6 years, so she was okay when I first moved down here, I'd say.
No, she already, because by the time you got here, she already was in remission, but she already had to do medication.
Oh, the medication, she could walk again, though.
Yeah. I'm talking about just medication prescribed to her. Like, had to, so definitely like 8, 10 years, like at least a decade, just being on prescription medication. What is her body gonna do when they're like, okay, you don't really need all these medications anymore, we only need, you only need to take these couple things, just like a blood pressure thing or whatever just because of the radiation or something like that. But once they get her off of stuff like oxycodone, an opioid, a very addictive one too. I mean, I do worry about, what that's going to do to her body and her mind. And she already kind of has some effect if she doesn't take her medication at, like, her hourly, regimen or whatever. She gets shaky and shit. I mean, so I can already see the effects. I mean, if it's already, like, she's getting shakes and shit and withdrawals, even if she doesn't really realize it, just a few hours of being off her regimen, for her medication that she does. I don't know, which I don't know specifically. I think it's like a morning and then at a night or something like that. I mean, I don't even want to know what it could be like or how bad it could truly be when she just needs to do it only like once every other day or only when she like really needs it. But if she only really needs it, but is having all these withdrawals and it's just having these side effects from it, from the lack of use from it, that's going to be a problem. How much do you think chronic marijuana smoking affects the lungs? I have constant congestion from it. I definitely would say it has a... what the fuck? Oh my god, what's this? Unimportant phone call. There's like this...
Right, okay. Well, and I know you don't talk about
hold up.
so much, but I just want to think, I gotta believe that there's more people listening.
Yeah, I'll use this. There we go. Send that little respond back message. Boom. Alright.
Their ratings aren't there anymore.
Well, we know that. We know that they're failing.
Back to your point here. How do you think chronic marijuana smoking affects the lungs? Well, we don't have any studies on it, so I don't know. But if I had to take a guess, I would say there's probably a definite negative effect with long-term chronic smoking of it. Like, I wouldn't say it's probably to the severity, negative levels of smoking like cigarettes all day and to that extent, but I can definitely see it making makes the lungs dank. Yeah, I mean, but I could definitely see it having a negative effect. I just don't know we already know short term at least, and like short term as in like months to like a year, it does have lung irritation, but I mean that's as far as we scientifically know for now at least. I'm a chronic doper, I use marijuana every day. Same here. So I mean I'm sure it can cause like diseases like maybe bronchitis and things like that. I mean not not something serious, but it's not good at all. It's just something you don't want. But I mean, I don't think it would be like as severe as like smoking cigarettes, but I would have to say there's probably negative effects. I wouldn't say it would like cause cancer or nothing, but I mean it could be a possibility. I dope everywhere. I go like Lance Armstrong, bro. Oh, cool. All the friends are... My friend made a phone call, and now he's just texting me. It's like, hey, thinking about kicking it. And I'm thinking about it, but I just gotta finish a few things first. So, what time is it right now? Alright. I'll give it like about 10 more minutes, and I think we'll wrap it up for today. But I'll be here tomorrow. Like I said, I try to do stream at least once a day. But tomorrow, I'll definitely finish up working for a video I have plans. I won't say what. I don't like to... I kind of like to do the deep fat fried method of releasing shit. Just be obscure about it and don't really mention what it is. Like, I'll give ideas of what could happen, but I won't tell you what's coming up, you know what I mean? It might not even be what I was thinking about. It could just be like, oh, this is interesting, so screw my other ideas, I'm talking about this instead. I mean, it could be something like that. So who knows? I like to be like that. I like to be you know, obscure, unknown, you know, go off the walls. You know, I think that's what, you know, kind of keeps people, I think that's like a good hook, you know, it's because like, ooh, what's he going to come up with next? What's he got, you know, what's he going to talk about today? We had to fire a sister from the kitchen. Oh, damn. What happened? Like, why did, like, was there a reason, or was it just because you had to lay her off? Name some music / bands you listen to. The Dusty 45 is a blues rockabilly group. Here's some like random metal bands that I listen to. Nightwish, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Battle Beast, Beast in Black, Amon Amarth, Bathory, Winter Sun, Insufferum, Corpaclani, System of a Down, alright, now she's just gonna call no show too much. Well, that's just your responsibility. Gotta do what you gotta do at that point. But anyway, back to my list of music. I'm just gonna start naming bands that are on my head now. Smashing Pumpkins, Rage Against the Machine, Prophets of Rage, Audioslave, Soundgarden, Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, The Who, The Beatles. I grew up on Sabbath and Maiden. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Oh, Dio, Judas Priest, man, there's so much I listen to, it's kind of hard to keep track. Like, this isn't like a list I can just like keep going on with. Like, it's something I'll just have to come back to later at some point. Like, I don't really, Nine Inch Nails, yeah, you got that. Electric Wizard? Oh, Ghost, there's another band, pretty new one, actually, but really good. There's Tool, Sabaton. I actually don't know why I didn't mention them sooner. I love them. I've seen them a couple times. The Doobie Brothers. They're all gone. I literally, honestly, I legit cannot take anything Trump says seriously anymore. Like, it's just like the way he speaks is just so funny. They are all gone. They are all gone. Believe me, it is tremendous. They are all gone. Let me just tell you. It's like, oh, I just can't take it. I just can't take it seriously. Sometimes I legit try, but then, you know, he'll just say, he'll say, like, something just, like, that's that 5th grade level that he'll come out with, that instead of, like, you know, he'll be in the middle of rehearsal, but then he can't help himself, and it's like, it's like you almost were, like, eloquent there. And sometimes he'll learn a new word, like reciprocal. Remember that one? Reciprocal. Like, he would just literally, like, he emphasized that word, like, because he learned that word just right before that speech. And he wants to, like, really emphasize, be like, yeah, I learned it now. Like, and then, there was another word, recently that he learned, but I forgot what it was, but he actually straight up, like, bragged about this one. I'm just blanking on the word that he said. It wasn't reciprocal, but it was, like, another one. And, like, in the middle of the speech, he actually literally bragged a little bit about it. It's like, that's my favorite word. I like that word. And then he just kept going on. And it's like, oh my god. It's like, dude, who brags about, like, their favorite word in the middle of it, like, a public speech or, like, a public notion from our, you know, like, dude. Trump is the worst, and trust me and believe me, I know presidents. He couldn't pronounce anonymous. Well, he can't pronounce Russia either. He says Russia. We got to sanction Russia because there is no collusion. It is a witch hunt because of Russia. I guess I'll see you guys later. All right, my man. Peace. Trump is the worst. Alright. Ignorant, you listen to Kiss. I've heard of him, but I actually haven't listened to him, so I'll definitely have to give him a check out. Give him a check out. Check him out. I don't know why I said that stupidly as a bit, but whatever.
For users of that far lane. We're back to 2 lanes of traffic headed north now on NATO until next.
I don't think you'll find any Trumpies here. Well, honestly, you could find them anywhere because I've seen them here in Portland too, and they're not like they're not like the stereotypical hardline type of ones. It's holy shit. Where this? Sup, motherfucker, piece of shit. Well, jeez, that was offensive. How dare you? Oh, begone, thought. It's okay. I don't care. Joe Malloy is a homo. Wow. Well, this got derailed. Trump cured my depression. He cured my depression. I'm entertained. I'm entertained. Did you lift the cat box to see in there? I don't have to lift it. I can look right into it right now and see something in it, so. I like how that guy came out of nowhere just to say what's up. Oh, he's still here. Do you jewel? I do not jewel. I just straight up just toke. I am bi, so what? So am I. So is Carl here. When Joe Miller's teenager, he was in the 70s, he would freebase and shoot Hero behind the dumpster at lunch. Nice. See, nowadays, kids are just doing jewels and, you know, just vaping all over the school and just trashing it up with jewel cartridges everywhere. Back in the 70s, back in my day, we were shooting heroin needles all up in our schools during lunch. We had heroin needles all over the place. We actually did it real. We did it hardcore. Unlike you stupid millennials. You didn't even do it right. Millennials. Heh. You ain't gonna know what it's like in the 70s, bruh. Oh, Carl, you still care about me. Joe Malloy Sicilian grandma's alcohol. Damn, Rose. I was getting worried you didn't care anymore. Of course Carl cares. I mean, there's no way he can't care. I mean, like, the ciphers have to, you know, not the ciphers, like our specters here have to be vigilant and care for each other. Or else, how will they be able to fight off against the onslaught of Tisman trolls? Which, granted, we do miserable fighting against. Let's just be fair on that. You started snorting blow at age 17. You started shooting heroin at age 14. Damn. Wow. Man. I mean, obviously I mustn't... leave my family alone, Carl. You know Sicilians. You know them well. Actually, I'm gonna turn this down. I don't need this at, like, full blast. Jeez, even at, like, the lowest, it's still blasting. Whatever. I didn't do it. I swear, officer. Give up, bitch. You gotta give up. That means Sicilian. Do you smoke a day pussy? Do you smoke a day pussy? A day pussy. So, do I smoke a whole day of pussy? I mean, I got pussycats here, but I don't smoke like a whole day's worth. How much? Just, jeez, can't take smart ass comments. How much? I don't know. However much I want. Stop wasting our time with our leader. Ted Cruz is positively reptilian. He radiates everything that is bad in him and the human character. To know him is to despise him. He is a lizard in the suit from the interwebs. I don't know what wise man said that, but I hope they have the Nobel Peace Prize for that quote alone, dude. Like, the fact that he's losing in some polls in Texas just show, like, I would vote for a stapler. I would vote for this, like, half, like, ripped up, like, cigarette thing. Then I will vote for that than Ted Cruz. Are you gay? Half. Well, I guess like 30% gay. Tomat. What kind of music did you listen to in the 70s? Yes, Joe. Enlighten us of your music tastes.
pedophile priests, they say, I don't want to be part of religion. They see marriages break up. I don't want to be in a marriage.
Pedophile
They
priests.
see people getting sexually
Oh shit, bro.
transmitted diseases. I don't want to have sex. Just go down the list.
So like, guys, what? Yeah,
I see people who are overweight.
like,
I don't want to eat it.
not-
It's gonna make me fat.
like I'm
Because I know how
selective,
people are treated when they're
but
fat.
like I'm female
I see this
preferred.
all the time.
But yes, partially.
And I see this all the
And
time. And I did a show a while back where I was talking
is there
about
a problem, good sir?
right now.
A lot of
What I
Carl.
mean by that is
I'm
children,
11.
Younger people today are not wanting to participate anymore in
You're 11
They
and
don't want to participate
okay.
anymore in government.
Okay.
They don't want to participate anymore
He's
in
virtually
any,
mooning us.
political
I feel the
stuff,
same
only
way.
protest,
Jimi Hendrix.
only to
Oh,
have hashtag
from Black
activism
Sabbath to
or
Lips.
whatever they do.
Wait, I hear I caught a priests in a bucket. What? 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 What, Stefan? Caught a... No, I don't think so. I didn't hear that. War Pigs. That song still holds prevalence to this day, dude. War Pigs is like some of my favorite. I smoke cannabis. I literally just did. Here, I'll smoke some more.
Into the idea of Nazism, being part of Nazism, or being a part of some voodoo cult, or practicing not Wicca, but I'm talking about a darker form of black magic.
Whoa.
Witchcraft, leading
So we
to
went from Satanism to Nazism to Wicca?
leading to that
Damn.
in order to,
We're just getting everyone.
feel their power.
Jack Roman is the cannabis. I agree. He is the embodiment of cannabis at the moment.
And I talk about
Work Pigs pairs well with heavy indica.
scary things at times.
I-
These are really scary. I mean,
I need to do that. I got, I don't have him in here, but I mean, I have my nighttime bud in my room, and next time I smoke that, I should throw Sabbath on. Personally, my favorite album is Masters of Reality, but that's like, but War Pigs, that album is like so, well, I guess the album's Paranoid, or, I don't know specifically, it's their second album, but but that's like so close to like first to like they're basically tied. But both of those albums are
is having an influence, and I don't mean this in a religious way. I mean this in a deeper way.
I'm fucking chills looking at Tolerance Vids and saw yours and led me to this. Ah, well, right on. Yeah, the Tolerance video was probably back when I was doing. Sorry, I'm being asked or whatever. That's all good. We gotta do the troll, do a troll every now and then. I do it too. I mean, we all troll. I mean, there's good things about like trolling and fucking with people. You gotta fuck on people every now and then, or else they're gonna just be too coddly, and then what's the point of that? I mean, in a way, it challenges me to like also be like, should we exert the authority? But a part of me is like, I'm gonna hold up for a sec, because I'll be like, maybe I can counteract. But if it keeps derailing and shit, which that's happened. I've had trolls come in here once and they've just kept going on and on and on. And it's like, okay, I'm getting done with this person, and I will eventually be like, go away, bye. But I give it time first. For me, I'm far more patient of a person than other people can be. Also, I like your shit. Nice, man. Well, welcome aboard. Yeah, but like that was back when I was doing a lot of YouTube videos and shit, and but nowadays I'm just been doing streams, and eventually I'm gonna get a podcast going, but I need to get a desktop, so I'm going to have a trip out of country in October, at the beginning of October in Iceland, and after that I'm gonna invest into getting a desktop, so it's gonna be probably around like the end of October until I get it, but it's just a work in progress. So in the meantime, just do these things. You thinking about horse body ignorant? What the fuck? No. What? Skinny girl, forever in our minds. Yep. She was the first troll. I'm like, okay, you just need to fucking leave. You're annoying me. Like it was to the point where she was genuinely like becoming an annoyance. What's your favorite Nirvana? I'm assuming like album or song. Fuck. Man. Favorite. I'm gonna assume you probably think a song here. Yeah. Favorite Nirvana song.
They don't worship Satan. They worship
I would have to probably say I'm actually generally thinking about this. I haven't listened to Nirvana in a while. Smells Like Teen Spirit. That's a good song. But that one to me is a little overplayed, so it's not my favorite. But let's see here. I would probably say All Apologies. That's a good song, but I'm thinking either like, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I haven't listened to Nirvana in a while, so no song is really, like, the name of any particular song is popping in my head. I'm just thinking of, like, the melodies and, like, the riffs of the songs that I'm thinking about, but no, like, particular names popping in my mind. I'll have to, listen to some of their shit again, here soon, refresh my memory. Mine's either Something in the Way or Radio-Friendly Unit Shifter. Need opioid pills and listen to Nirvana. I always, like, I've always told you, I'm never doing pills. Nah, bro. Maybe, like, acid or some shit. That'll be fine. Like, psychedelics are open, but not opiate. No. Nah. Definitely hardcore no with that one. But psychedelics, well, I'd be down for that or something, like acid or something like that. That'd be okay. But, you know, as a pussy, he gets drunk off one beer. No, I don't. I get drunk off of, like, at least one Black Russian and a Jack and Coke. Well, at least, like, buzzed, you know, and getting, you know, near drunk. But I wouldn't say, like, straight up drunk. But, if I had those, plus, like, an Ace pineapple cider, which is it's kind of like my usual thing I get, when I go to the pub. Usually, like, a combination of those three, or just, like, two of those three or something like that. And, I just play pool usually. But, yeah, I mean, just because I don't drink beer don't mean I ain't a man that, you know, drinks, like, harder shit and liquor and stuff. Like, I mean, I take shots and stuff like that, too. Like, I mean, bruh. Like, bruh. Whoa, I accidentally, like, just totally scrolled my entire chat back to, like, the beginning somehow. Don't know how I did that. Well, like how I said, I was going to be like, we're going to end this in, like, a few minutes. It's bedtime, bro. And it's business time for me, actually. So, even though I said this bowl's going to be the last, I am now, lying, and, going to make this other bowl here the last bowl. I lied. I did fake news. I was spreading alternative facts. Whoa. Well, fam. The Antitos Cristitos. The Antitos Cristitos. The Antitostitos. Anti-Tortino rolls. Tortino rolls. I have tomorrow off. My parents are taking me to a brewery in Asheville tomorrow for lunch. Right on, dude. That's not, like, what I need to do once I get the license out of the way is go to a brewery in, like, Hood River or some shit, dude. Like, I want to get, like, we need to get your bottle of that Foxtail cider, because didn't you say that they will give you, like, half off or a free wheelful or something like that?
I think so.
Something like that. I mean, it's been so long, I forgot. But, I mean, I knew there was, like, you get, like, a refill, and it's, like, half off if you bring the bottle back or something like that. Something. I don't remember specifically. But I'm like, all right, well, let's bring a bottle back and get another one and be like, hey. Because there's this cider called Foxtail Cider that is you can only get it in Hood River, Oregon. And it is so good. I've had, like, Robert, like, he had family come by up here, like, a year ago or something like that, and they were going all around Oregon, checking out the scenery and the views and shit like that, and, they when they were going through Hood River, they stopped by the brewery and got some Foxtail cider. And initially, it was meant for these folks, but I think they forgot it or something like that. I mean, it was
supposed to be from Mom, but she never. She said she didn't like it. She didn't want it. She never tasted it, but yeah, we drank it.
Yeah, we ended up just drinking it. Yeah, we just ended up having it ourselves. But yeah, I want to buy like some in bulk and like store it and hide it somewhere. So I'm being serious. So we can have it for special occasions and bring it out and like celebratory. Because one little glass of that, like what's the glass that we have? Like okay, here, hold on. Like maybe like okay, so you know how this glass is full, like or how full it is here. That's about how big our glasses were. And think go about like this much full and like glasses this tall. That got me fucked up. One little glass of that cider like was like, ooh, I'm feeling it, and it's like, ooh, it's like it wasn't like an obvious like, oh, I'm drunk. It was just like, whoa, this just like, it's I don't know, but it tastes good. It like the effect is warming, and if like because I didn't realize how strong it was at the first time, I was like, okay, hold up, gotta like calm myself. But after the other times I've had it, I actually now was like, okay, now I need to just sip it. And when I did that, it actually was like, man, this is some good stuff. So, and we should definitely have it in bulk and like have like a cabinet for like really good like things that we'll have for special occasions, or like, all right, well, like, hey, graduated or something from like college or some shit. Let's find a few things to celebrate from our cabinet of special things and stuff. I don't know, like. At a brewery, Ignar will be able to gaze on horse body. What is with you and horse body, Jim? I think you're the one thinking a lot about horse bodies, Jimmy. What if there's an apocalypse and we use bottle caps as currency? I'd be rich already. Oh my, dude, I have 2 like little boxes full of bottle caps. Like they're overflowing. Like I need to find another box full to. Like, I have so many bottle caps, I have them all over my house, dude. Like, I have a bunch of them over here, I have a bunch in my room, I have a bunch just scattered everywhere, dude. Like, I need to collect them all again and get another big, like a little chest of it so I can fill it up. Like, dude, I collect them. Clydesdale, Ignar likes him big. Jim Cornette is a fur fag. Evidently, dude. Jimmy Furfag Whisperer Cornette is revealing some secret things about himself, to which I don't know if he really wanted to show. He's a furry, indeed.
Today, the engineer boot is still worn by hard-working Americans. It's become an
But
iconic motorcycle riding
methinks thou doth protest too much. Exactly. Like, he's the one, he's been... I have not even talked about horse body or whatever the hell he's talking about. Which is fun. Dude, that's just funny. That term, horse body. That's just funny to me, dude. Like, what? I'm not the one with degeneracy on my Twitter feed. I'm not the only one either, dude. You think I'm the only one with degeneracy on my Twitter feed? At least I'm not protesting it on my stream. In fact, I just kind of I'm like, what of it? Like, I mean, I'm not protesting it at all here. I'm just like, I'm admitting it, like straight up, like, yeah, so what? so, like, grown men pretending to be.
To Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis on FM News 101.
Just wham. And it's not like. It's not even. Hold on. What was even that comment? One man pretending to be an old shot. That's not even. Okay, that's not even it. Alright. Someone who, like, pretends or thinks they're an animal is, like, an otherkin. And they, like, legit think they're, like, animals or, like, another thing that isn't, like, human. And it's just like. Nah, you're Homo sapien. At least acknowledge that you're a Homo sapien. Like, I know I'm a Homo sapien. It's like depending on who you talk to, it's like it could be all sorts of different meanings. Birds go in the oven. hey, at least if we're yiffing hell, at least we're getting laid. So your point's mute. Just letting you know. But deal fitter, get the ball. Only Carl has 6 dirty stream, and I know I've carefully checked out 3 times, maybe 4. Oh. Oh, Carl, you got dirty streams going. Okay. No wonder you want to try to make me do an AD Twitter account.
Or they are Satanists. What do you think about the trend that you're seeing right now in entertainment?
But
I've got a whole list of
at least I know that, you know,
the amount of movies
laid by middle-aged members.
with specifically this narrative, and I think that
Dude, if you even, I make money off that, motherfucker. Hey, whatever makes your bread and butter. I like how, like, it went from 6 people watching to, like, 3. It's now just us 3. Or us 4. You scared everyone else off, you fucks. Nice. Anyway. That's not, if you even watch, or, like, look at my follows, there are females in there, too, who are furries. So it's not even middle-aged men, by the way. So there's even, like, a whole site dedicated to looking at, like, polls and, like, the statistics, demographics of, like, the fandom. So you can look at who's, like, our demographics of who's female to male, or, you know, whatever, and, like, look who's straight, bi, or gay, whatever have you. Like, I mean, there's, like, a website, and every year they release, like, you know, their stats, and I participate in every year. I do it too. It's fun. No one was furry. You're wrong because you're wrong. Jimmy tells me, what do you think of this? Oh, regressive. Oh, yeah. You're gonna bring this up, huh?
I remembered watching the first episode. Was everything that
okay, well, you're gonna bring up the Justice Dome thing. Okay, well, I don't disagree that they're, like, the people who are operating it and doing the, like, behind-the-scenes back work for the movement itself are pretty SJW ridden. I made that pretty clear. But the candidates are a different story. Like, it's their policies and the substance that they're trying to push that I would support them or not. And most of them, SJW, conscious capitalism. Like, again, like, it just depends on, like, candidates, because not every candidate is the same, and some of them have slightly different views on certain different policies. So, it just, for me, it's candidates who, if they are good, you know, at least for me, or, you know, my policies and what I think should at least be implemented compared to others. You know, compared to, like, I don't think Kyle's peak SJW. Okay, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Kyle and SJ. How? Okay. All right, hold on. Before the pump the brakes. Why? Because he. All right, you know what? Before I chime in, like, you gotta explain this to me then. So, because, like, like, to me, how is he? I don't see him as an SJW. Like, he does, like, he shits on them pretty often, and talks about, you know, calls out the identity politics and the SJWism and shit. Like, he has done that before, on the right and the left. So, how is he? Like, I mean, I'll give you time to write the comment, but I'm not seeing it. I mean, I don't know. 23andMe sites, they're more recent versions of this. The Pentagon's been doing for 40 years. I know I'm not the only one here who's aware of secular talk. So, I mean, this isn't just exclusive or inclusive to just us two here having our little conversation, just letting everyone else know in the chat. So, I mean, we're all here in our little discussion. And I feel like he's actually, you know, trying to be fruitful with, you know, his side of this discussion, because he hasn't said anything. So, well, at least not yet. So, that's why I'm giving it time. So that's why I'm letting everyone else they can chime in too, if they so choose. Like you don't have to, but you know. I'm sitting back with a bucket of popcorn while this discussion continues. Want social justice equal SJW. Well, I mean, I also want, like, social justice as well, but I totally condemn, like, SJWs, though. But just because I advocate for not just... For me, social justice is, like, just justice for, like, the socials of humanity, just everybody and shit. It's not just, like, you know, a certain group or, like, certain particular groups and then you exclude, like, white people or some shit. Like, I want social justice for everybody. I want social justice for the lower classes and the working class. Like, you know, we deserve that type of justice. And it shouldn't just be... I mean, it shouldn't also just be social justice. It should be economic justice as well. And, you know, especially with the income gap and poverty gap as well. Like, those are big factors as well to it. So, I mean, for me at least, that's what I advocate for. And I've heard Kyle's Opors. I mean, even his last Secular Talk of Smack that I've seen, he didn't say he wanted open borders. He was okay with border protections. He said that before. So, I mean, he doesn't want open borders. I've heard him say before he's clarified that he's okay with border protections because obviously there's nothing wrong with deporting illegal and criminals who are people who are committing crimes and shit like that who are undocumented, etc., etc. Like he said that before. So he's not all open borders. He's for basic protections and policy regulations on the border, which is what I'm for. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having, you know, basic border protections and, you know, I think there's a lot of progressives who claim to not support open borders while supporting policies that lead to an effectively open border. That is, I do agree with that. There are that claim to not support it. But, but for me, like, I'm not, like, I do want to, in a futurism philosophy, want open borders, but again, that's a futuristic philosophy.
That's good, okay, that's cool.
We can just use more of that rice up that I got. A lot of times racists use this distraction from real discussion. I agree. And that is an issue with SJWs as well. And which is why we need to focus more on the economic and broad social aspect of it, not just specific social issues that are still prevalent or not as prevalent anymore.
That car.
Somebody's allowed to cross and stay indefinitely as long as they don't stick up to the clerk at a gas station. That sounds pretty open to me. Well, I mean, if they're like here to come to the country oh my god. But if someone's here moving to the country to live here, whether they came here illegally or not, if they're actually trying to advocate to stay and live here and actually become part of society, and then their children are born here or were raised here essentially, so for all intents and purposes they're like American or etc., then I don't see a problem with a path to citizenship for those type of people. Like I think having a path towards citizenship for people who want to come here, or if they're already here, or documented or not, and are actually proving to want to be here and want to partake in our society and partake in our economy, then I don't see nothing wrong with that. Again, if they're being criminals, if they're actually doing crimes and can be convicted of those and found and tried on those crimes and shit, then there's nothing wrong with deporting those type of people. I think there should be amnesty to let those already here have path to citizenship, but at a certain point one has to draw the line. And I do agree, and that's why I think it is kind of a I mean, it's definitely a kind of a touchy issue a little bit, because it's not just a factor of just one thing of just demographics. It's also a factor of like economics. It's a factor of like foreign policy decisions, sanction, like all sorts of other things.
I went to ZipRecruiter.
It's anti-left. That should just. If I agree,
It
yeah.
does, give it to me.
It's fast, smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free.
Stales.
Well, what I do is I just like will put my hand around that and then just blow it out from there. So it just blows it. So you don't have to worry about that stale grossness that kills you. Like if you pull, like here, like if I pull this out, like I do like this, like, and I do that so the resin doesn't stick to my lips and shit and it's gross. You know what I mean? So it works out. I mean, it helps.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's go send people over here so they don't have a revolution. I mean, based on, like, I see a lot of them coming here because of the corruption due to the drug cartels buying off their government, and people, the government colluding with a lot of, with the DA as well, and with the drug cartels, because the DA is having an effect on the drug war as well on this. I mean, and people are trying to escape, essentially, like, a war. For all intents and purposes, it's a drug war, hence war, with the cartels. I mean, I can't help but, feel empathy for a lot of people that, do here, but, there is still a line you need to draw with people that are suspicious, or are prone, or actual genuine threats. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a tough question. I mean, it is. I mean, and if they're only fleeing temporarily, then it should be a temporary visa until things get settled in their country. Then they can go back. And that's something I'd be okay with as well. Temporary citizenship until things settle in their land or in their homes, and they can go back. No, I never said I wanted more neoliberalism. I hate neoliberalism. No, I don't want that. It's that, like, I'm not advocating for that. Like, that's, like, where was I advocating for, like, a neoliberal? No, I didn't. No, I was what I was just saying was, if people, like, for example, if people are coming here or fleeing a crisis and are generally, like, not here for harmful intents and purposes, are willing to assimilate or at least temporarily assimilate into our society and our economy and shit, and partake in our country and actively help prosper it as well, like they would have done in their own country, then as long as they go for the proper pathways to citizenship legally, then I don't see a problem with that. And with people who are already here, whether they're undocumented or not, then we should have a separate way for pathway citizenship for them there. But for people who are undocumented trying to go in, we should stop them before they come in, so then we can actually turn them around as they go through the legal way. Like, give them paper how to go through the process and turn back to where their hometown was, and be like, or a safer place if their hometown's filled with cartel members. You shouldn't send it back there, but send it back over to the border and be like, here's how like you're putting a label on a personal view of how I'm advocating for how I personally think immigration policy should be. I'm not advocating for neoliberalism. And a group preference is unavoidable. It's an evolutionary ingrained part of the human nature that checks one state checks, ties one state tied per state person. Well, I mean, for me, I don't view shit in tribalistic eyes like that. So, because I view people as fucking humans. Like, I don't, just because they're like Mexican or some shit, it don't mean anything to me. Like, that don't mean anything to me. It matters more of their intentions.
This new period, this new era, this new aeon that you're talking about coming into fruition, mailing through.
I still do not know how that is, but alright, fine.
The internet is a version of that.
Because,
Hollywood is really just retelling
like, to me, a neoliberalist policy is just straight up open borders and not giving a shit about whether they're undocumented or not, letting them in here because they're going to help bolster the economy and not actually care about the pre-actions that could have and the consequences that could have with that. I'm advocating for regulation of that type of shit. So that's not fucking neoliberal, dude. Like, I'm advocating for regulation of people who could be criminals and actually pose a threat, or actual, like, drug cartel members and or like people in gangs and shit. Like, those are genuine problems that I think we should face and should actually deal with if they are trying to cross the border or if they have that type of background. But if they're trying to, if you consciously analyze your sentiment, you'd realize the truth. What truth? Oh my god. Keep their ways, X language.
I guess you call him a Soleimite.
I mean, like
Jack Parsons.
oh my god. This is this is starting to get a little tedious for me, man. Because I feel like I'm trying to have to continuously explain how I'm not advocating literally open borders, because that's literally not what I'm advocating for. Like, I mean, where have I advocated for straight up open borders when I have continually said there should be regulation on who we should let in? And even in places, for example, like the Middle East, where there's actually straight up fucking war, like proxy wars and shit, and fundamental jihadist terrorist organizations and shit. Like, I have no problem having stricter regulations of regions like that, because there's jihadists. There's actual, like, bigger threats than a cartel. That's a bigger threat. If we had just straight up open borders of Iraq and Syria, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? Like, I would not advocate for that. Like, I don't have a problem with having stricter. I'm not. I'm just voicing my thoughts. I know you're not, but close them equals close borders, let them in equal open borders. You can have. So what? There's no middle ground. There's just literally no middle ground that you can have. It's just either you want neoliberal open borders or you want closed borders. Dude, come on, man. Like, you can. There's a middle ground for this type of actual policy for immigration. Like, you can have stricter immigration regulations under capitalism, though. Well, I agree, because under our current system we can't, because I think, and also our current system is very exploitative in very many ways. Like, I think we need to transition into a post-capitalistic society. Like, I do agree with that. So we can actually have, policies that are actually more beneficial towards humanity. And while, there are threats like in the Middle East and shit going on right now, while we need to restrict immigration to around these type of places and things like that, we should still at least humanitarianly help humanity and shit and try to actually end these fucking strives and end the wars and actually, either let these people develop themselves over time, which I doubt that's ever going to happen, or actually have interventionist humanitarian aid and actually have, like, development and actually, like, push education and push, like, that type of thing. And honestly, whether the jihadists or, the people who are going to try to hold to tradition, like it or not, we're going to do it anyway, because, we should be helping humanity and develop everybody. I mean, that should be the whole point of trying to, sustain this earth and sustain our own species and our own selves and our world, right? And to help expand out into the fucking, like, who knows what's out there, too. And, that just goes on to a different thing there. Propping up for... Well, when I actually say humanitarian aid, I actually mean it. Like, I actually want to advocate for a society that wants to help their fellow man and to help their fellow communities and their fellow societies and their fellow nations. Like, I actually advocate and want that. Like, I am, like, the fact that we're going in more wars and going in more proxy wars fucking sickens me. Like, I hate that. And, for me, we should be advocating towards a society where we rethink how we treat each other and how we look at each other. Instead of being tribalistic, have this tribalistic nature, we should, look at a humanitarian nature and look at, instead of the tribalistic nature, switch it as the tribe is humanity. The tribe is the Homo sapiens of us. Like, we need to bolster, that. And, I have no problem with having, like, the subcultures and, like, how we have it now, but, I mean, but in order to, actually have you know, a better world, or I guess, you know, open borders, whatever whatever fucking, for a future where, you know, it would actually generally be alright and safe, where there's like no major wars, there's no like fundamentalist jihadist proxy wars going on, you know, in quarter of the world, that type of shit, like, which is a far-flung future, which is even debatable if that could even be it, you know, that can even be. So, I mean, but that's why we need to work, you know, to try to help get the idea to try to, you know, work on transitioning and getting society, you know, on track to something. Like, we're not going anywhere the way we're going. Neoliberalism, neoliberalism will not lead to those things. I agree. Like, I mean, that's why we do need this transition. For the record, I'm not calling it neoliberal. I'm just saying that some reactionary beliefs that end up supporting the system. I mean, I'm not saying that you are literally calling me neoliberal. It's just that the actual the specific immigration policy I'm advocating for is definitely not neoliberal, because I have no problem with having stricter regulations when needed on immigration policy. Like, for example, like, you know, with the south of the border, I don't mind that we have a stricter policy there, because there's a drug war going on, and while that's a problem on a totally different scale, while that's happening, we need to adapt to it. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with having stricter regulation down that border. But I guess the main thing is that I know most progs flip out hearing that word. Most of you don't know its meaning. Well, I mean, it's not that I, like, don't know the meaning. It's just that, I mean, I think it's just mainly this discussion is harder between chat and then just me talking. Like, it's a little bit more difficult for these type of opinions to come back and forth. Like, if we were doing this on Discord voice chat, this would probably be a far different, probably a far more productive conversation, actually. Instead of me just rambling on, you know, like I'm just ranting by myself, just responding to, like, chat, you know. I mean, instead of that, it would actually be more of a one-on-one. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the whole point, chat. Like, even though it's, like, not as productive, it's still, like, a productive thing, because, I mean, I'm doing these type of streams for this type of stuff. I mean, it's good that, you know, my views are challenged anyway, because, like, or else what am I doing? I'm just saying shit then at that point. Like, if I'm just saying shit and then no one's gonna see if I can back it up or even challenge it or something like that, then what's the point of me saying it, right? I mean, I heard mumbles.
Rid of them so that we can have a better Germany, a more agriculture or agri-friendly Germany.
Paint it over the top.
You suggest, well, we get rid of the gypsies, we get rid of the Jews, we get rid of the homosexuals. You just went down the list. And Hitler goes, great idea, let's do it. That's what we're going to do in the future. That's what they're doing in American Horror Story. What do we get rid of?
We start doing Discord hangouts. Yeah, I don't think it should. Yeah. We need to start doing Discord. Yeah, I do agree. Like, again, it's mainly just, like, getting a desktop so I can actually have, like, a more, like, clean, fresh slate to actually work with things on. Apples, plums, sweet. I can make more smoothies. I love strong beer. Beer is liquid bread. It fuels you. The Macedonian and Roman legions were fueled on liquid bread. Oh yeah, I know very much about it. Very much, yeah. But I don't know, it's just still not my thing. I mean, I definitely like. I think what I remember. I think it was in like a Hideology or a TJ Does live stream. I sent a super chat like, "What's your favorite type of drinks?" And I just listed off mine, and pretty much for the most part, I think one of them said it, pretty much all of them besides like one or two of them they liked too, and named off a few others that were on that little list of things, and had a whole discussion about bar drinks and stuff like that for like 10 minutes or something. So ended up pretty nice. That's kind of like how I do my interactions now. I do like, I'll like start one by sending super chat, say, "Hey, what's up, bro? You know, enjoy shit. Here's a question." It's just like, here's a quick question, you know. It'll be like a little $5 thing, and then just go back and forth with everyone in chat, and with Paul or DJ, whoever, and that, you know, ends up being fun. I can't wait until like, even though Google wants to shill 30 schmeckles away from me, you know, for that side cache, that side quiche. I mean, I can't wait for the super chats at least, because that'll be pretty nice at least. I'll get Streamlabs set up too. That'll be the first thing for sure. But I hear that's just such a bitch, because even with like the TJ's streams when he was doing it on his computer and stuff, the Streamlabs will always be like friggity, glitchity, and bullshitty. It's like, I don't want to deal with that, but whatever works, right? Alright. Alright, well it's been 2 hours, and I actually do still got legitimately some shit to do. So I'm actually legitimately now am gonna wrap it up. Like I said this probably like 30 minutes ago. I did like 40 minutes ago. I did like an hour ago. Like I've been trying to wrap this up for an hour. Damn. Night later. It's all good. You know what? It's not. I don't even like fret over this. It's late here, midnight. Yeah, and you said you need to get to bed anyway. What are you doing up? Don't let my life and my schedule impede yours, bitch. I don't want you dying. I mean, actually, think about it. Hold up. So I do these, like, you know, on average, like 30 minutes to like an hour and a half to 2 hours, right? At least once a day, usually. There's like there's like a 1 in 24 to 1.5 or like 2 in 24 chance of you guys just seeing me croak on stream. Think about that. Whoa.
It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one. To celebrate, we're sending 3 bottles to men who want to cut down on bathroom trips. Yes. Supply is free. Just dial #250 on your mobile phone and say the keyword "not okay." Early research suggests that an ingredient in P3 Advanced may help support
Jimmy Wisters spends his entire day on the computer doing nothing on YouTube and masturbating. When I'm not in interviews. Damn. Alrighty. Well, I'll be around tomorrow.